Go back, beginning. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. So the goal, it's kind of like I talked about Tuesday, all the calculations a human body has to do to hit a beat. That's what the and is. And actually in martial arts, that's where all the magic happens. Does not happen on the beat. Does not happen on the 1, doesn't happen on the 2, or the 3, or the 4, or the 5. It happens on the and. That's where all the magic is. The number is you having successfully completed the magic trick. Right? Here's the hat. Look at the hat. The hat is empty. The number is, there's the rabbit. That's not what you need. You don't need to be going, oh cool, there's the rabbit. You need to be asking, how in the heck did the rabbit get in the hat? That's the important part. That's the and. So always count the and. And when you're looking at your senior students or me and trying to learn this, it is more important to learn to watch the transition than the end note, than the number. You need to look at your brain will not let you do anything else. Your brain will make you look at the number because you want to know where you end up. You can't do the form without that. But if you want to get better, you have to look at how did they get from here to there. And you need to start seeing the flow of energy. So this John, right off the bat, you were doing what everybody does. He did it on day 1. I did it on day 1. You're doing this. It's not that. It's this. That. It's straightforward.
Quick question on that, Sifu. Because I know that's how you showed me. Go straight forward. But I remember one time he told me and Hannah when we were on the Pox house set, how you want us to twerk.
Pox house set, you're not doing the same thing.
Right. So this is just going straight forward.
The jong is going straight forward versus a jam.
Okay.
Okay? The jong, straightforward. Jam cuts. Okay? So there's not a lot of torque in a jong. It's just straightforward. It's relying on the fact that there's an angle already there. If you and I are reasonably squared up, you've got to punch from one of these angles.
Right.
I mean, you can try and put your hand in the center, but still there's an angle here.
Right.
So if I take the center as you go forward, an angle already exists. So it is inherently a glancing blow. I just need something reasonably forward and firm to cut it.
Right.
But if I wanted to impact it and send it across, then I have to do something else, and that's your jump. That's the jom in the box house set. Jong is, it's a parallel movement. Elbow and wrist move in parallel. Most of these movements are parallel, quite frankly. Even the jom is parallel with torque. The jong doesn't have a torque. But this is moving forward, and these things are moving forward together. Sifu Fu calls it parallel, and I'm trying new phrases just so that you can visualize differently. This and this are traveling on the same track. This is non-parallel. See what I'm saying? This is not parallel. They're both going forward, but because this gets extended, one arcs. So they are not a parallel track. Jong is a very clear parallel track. So I'm not using my collarbone, I'm lifting my shoulder in order to extend outward. Okay? Jam, I do the same thing, but then I torque it.
So both moves will manipulate the
If done properly, yes. They should manipulate it to some degree. They're at least they're cutting an angle. They're forcing, in the case of the first move of the Mukyang Jong, you're making contact with the right limb of the Mukyang Jong, but it's better thought of as the person's left arm. And you have cut it across their body. You've cut it across their center.
Right, they're throwing the jab.
Yes, and then you send it that way. And that's why he ends up like this. Okay? In the case of the jam in the Paxao set, you can think of it as either arm, but it's more than likely the right is actually right arm. Because if I were to jam here, I'm not doing anything about that.
Right.
But if I jam here, that's covered, you're crossed up, and the next move, right. So forth, right? Most of the time, this is actually the opponent's left, and this is actually the opponent's right.
Right.
Most of the time. Because you've never seen anybody fight like this. What's happening is this. You're tying them up. So let's do this. We'll do this in the round. He's going to punch. I'm going to jong. Parallel movement, elbow and wrist parallel forward. I'm going to follow my own arm, and it should be a strike, but right now we're just going to go for the grab. Hip out, so you sit. That's what pulls him down. That frees the arm up. He pulls it back. He punches with it again. There is my bong. He punches with that one. That was just step 5. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. And all the stuff happens during the and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. Okay? Do that in a triangle.